Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another session of Dragonmark Symphony here on Nitro One Media. My name is Dylan, your Dungeon Master for the evening, here with my friends. We've been away for just a little bit, but we're back, and we're going to hop right back into it. You all remember how things went last time, correct?
Absolutely not.
Yes.
You remember the great foe that you
yes.
vanquished?
I do, actually.
Yeah.
Because I wrote it down.
Was that directly?
That was an open-ended question. It was Anatherios.
Indeed. And Therios the Elder Bass.
Elder Bass.
Yes. See, the fishing jamboree reached an exciting conclusion in our last session as you all faced down in Therios on the shores of Lake Galifar. And while this was largely Johannes's competition to win, all of you as a team worked together to defeat Antherios and seize victory from the jaws of a fish. The result was that Johannes was able to carve fresh fish meat from Antherios to use in his cooking for the second half of this great competition, which is, of course, the making of the actual food, which will determine whether he or Thomas Windleaf, friend of Silva, will become the new head chef here at this inn that has not yet been given an official name. You all returned back inside. Some of you got yourselves cleaned up a little bit. Little messy, a little fishy from the events of the day. And then Johannes and Thomas, you were brought into the kitchen, this enormous kitchen that the inn has, where Milo Marigold, the proprietor of the inn, let you know that there were 3 rules to this part of the competition. Do you remember what those rules were?
Oh, man. No, actually.
Was one of the rules like the loser dies?
I tried to add that rule, but I don't
not quite. Yeah, Johannes was rooting for that, or at least like an automatic win. But Milo wasn't having any of it.
I know that we couldn't use. We had to catch our own fish. That was a rule. I don't think there was a rule that we can't use. Could we not use any of his ingredients? Was that one of the rules?
Nope, that wasn't one of the rules at all.
Okay, no. Then I don't remember.
Nope, you were free to use everything in the kitchen. No, the rules, which I understand if you can't remember them, they were made up on the spot after all.
Yes.
The first rule was that you both would be paid no matter what. You and Thomas are both going to be paid 100 gold apiece. For your efforts today. The second rule is that if either of you cut off an appendage, you are on your own as far as getting it fixed, sewn on, magically applied, whatever. You are on your own. You lose an appendage, that's your problem to deal with.
I take the knife and go towards Thomas's arm. That's a lie. I didn't do that, but I thought about it.
The third rule was that the two of you were presented goblets full of purple liquid.
Oh, yeah.
And you were each told to take a drink of your goblet, with the caveat that one of them is grape wine and the other is poison. You went ahead and just threw back your goblet, and Thomas, in an anxious panic, threw back his as well. You declared almost immediately that you had drank the grape wine and that Thomas had surely drank the poison. I will ask you now, as we re-enter the scene, how are you so certain that you drank the grape wine?
I want to make a medicine check.
That's a great idea. You go ahead and make that medicine check.
Oh, dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
It was almost a 4.
Right. Yeah. So you still sort of ingesting the liquid. You and Thomas are just sort of looking at each other. He has just drank his as well. There's a very visible beads of sweat on his face as the two of you just kind of stand there waiting for something to happen. You feel this like sort of icy coldness begin to kind of form at the base of your spine and like travel upward.
That's not good.
At the same time, you can see that Thomas sort of looks at you, the bit of a confused expression, and goes, "So I drink the poison cup?
It has to be. You has to have.
How can you be so sure?"
You see how you're sweating there? Like on your very sweaty, red.
I do
red
that all
face.
the time.
It's very sweaty. It's actually like quite like alarmingly sweaty. That has to be a medical condition due to poison.
Okay. Okay. As you're saying this and you're sort of like focusing on the pores
sweaty
of Thomas's face.
Do you see how sweaty he is?
Your vision is beginning to blur a little bit. The streaks of sweat that you're talking about, they are sort of diverting off from each other as your vision sort of is separating. And you begin to feel,
and now I'm like, and also it's known that poison doesn't take effect if you just don't think it will. Oh, sorry, I can't hold my wine very well.
I don't think this is a placebo effect sort of thing. I think he was generally crazy enough to try to poison one of us.
Think so?
Yeah, very, very confident in that, actually.
Oh, like the discs in my spine, they feel like those little sacs are like popping.
I'll be honest, I was going to propose that we both just kind of like spill our drinks into like a nearby potted plant when he wasn't looking and then pretend that we drank them.
I'm not a coward, Thomas.
Hey, it's kept me and Silva alive this far.
How am I doing?
You are not doing well.
Oh,
everything around you is very hazy and fuzzy. It is difficult to make sense of things. Your movement is becoming a little more off balance. Make a Constitution saving throw for me.
I will do that.
Are we all in the area, like watching this go down?
As far as I recall, neither of you had actually left. The three of you, Dak included, you were all still there.
Okay.
Also, I got an 8.
So Johannes is like visibly feeling the effects of something.
Yeah,
right?
he looks like death now.
I will literally pull one of the unknown antidotes out of my pack and just like open his mouth and just like
as I in here, so I'm bathing at the moment. Well, without me.
How's that antidote looking?
Yeah, okay. You immediately feel the haziness and the nauseousness and the spinning and everything begin to subside instantly. In a matter of just like a few seconds, your vision is suddenly returning back to you. It's almost disorienting to just suddenly be brought back to normality this quickly. The cold that you were feeling along your spine recedes rather, and you find yourself back on your feet. You see Thomas kind of looks at you and says, "What did that do? Something? How do you feel now?"
Oh, I feel so much better. Set, I think he actually poisoned me.
Well, considering what I just gave you was an antidote, I would imagine, yeah, that's a good assumption.
He actually poisoned. Tom, I'm starting to think that this Milo Marigold guy isn't very, responsible. He tried to kill me.
Are you guys sure that you actually want to work for this guy?
Johannes? Johannes, what's happening to your hands right now?
Look,
your fingers. Thomas.
Thomas, yeah.
You see a webbing begin to form between your hands.
Nice.
Between your fingers. The fingers themselves are becoming shorter, more stubby.
Can I take off my boot and look at my toes?
You still have some dexterity where you're able to kind of move. You see that your feet as well, the webbing between the toes is expanding outward, and the feet are shrinking and turning like a brownish, blackish color. You all watch as Johannes himself begins shrinking even further down. Already not a super tall fellow as it was, but beginning to shrink even further. Johannes, you feel like a fur almost of some sort beginning to grow across your face and spread across your entire body very quickly. Everyone watches in horror as before their eyes, in the span of a minute, Johannes shrinks down and disappears into his clothing. And from this bundle of clothes emerges a platypus.
Platypus.
Johannes.
Okay, look, as long as it's not purple with an orange beak, we'll pass friendliness. Or at least as long as we
Johannes,
little bee.
You maintain your mental faculties.
I do, okay.
You are just as intelligent, the same intelligence and wisdom that you had before. But you can feel that you are now much smaller, down on the ground. Everyone else towering above you. And your arms and legs are shorter. You have protruding from your face this enormous flat bill rather.
Just grab it and move it up and down.
And you have a large flat tail that's just kind of smacking against the ground as well. Your hands are super stubby. Fingers are short, webbing in between, and very sharp little black beady claws on the ends of your fingers.
Can I speak?
You have been transfigured into a platypus.
I just scream out, "What did he do to me?"
You all hear Johannes's voice, but it is small and much higher pitched.
What did he do to me?
I'll take the other bottle of antidote out of my bag and just go, "Open up, Thomas." And just uncork it and start walking towards it.
I'll fight you. I will fight you. Keep that away from me.
But will you win?
Put it in his mouth.
I will fight you. I'll walk away right now. I swear on the gods. I will walk away.
Well, he wins automatically then.
Where's that bastard Milo?
Not to be a role play stickler here, but I feel as though if you're going to speak in Hold on. How the hell did these get reversed again? All right. Regardless, I feel like if you're going to speak in your character, Johannes, I think it's the most accurate if you were to speak like Daffy Duck.
No, I can't do a Daffy Duck impression.
But you can attempt to do a Daffy Duck
So
impression.
you could do a Daffy Duck. I think it's Donald.
I think
Donald.
I think if somebody was turned into a platypus and had never been a platypus before, I think it makes perfect sense that they would not know how to perfectly speak like a duck.
Hold him down.
Where's that bastard Milo?
I'm gonna school him once.
Worst. I haven't seen Looney Tunes in so long.
You just need to talk with a lisp. That's really all you need to do.
Yeah, basically.
And like when you do the list, you pretty much give a fat like in there.
Bastard.
No, if I asked you to do Donald Duck, I think that would be cruel.
Just play Kingdom Hearts quotes.
At this moment, you all hear the ringing of a bell as the front doors swing open, and Alice and Vanessa return from their mandatory 30-minute break that they had to take. With there's a crowd of other people that are sort of rejoining them from outside. The two of them approach the bar and immediately stop. Vanessa gasps and puts her hands up to her mouth. And Alice, the orc who serves as the bartender, she just kind of takes a look at the scene of Set threatening Thomas with some sort of bottle. Thomas, hand over the mouth, trying to push Set away. Silva just sort of watching.
I'm in the bath.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, still in the bath. And a platypus on the ground, angrily chattering in a high-pitched, squeaky voice.
Hold on. Keep going, but I just realized something.
Alice sort of surveys the scene between the two of you and goes, I thought he didn't have any more of that. He must have been hiding it somewhere.
Has he done this before?
Did you know about this, Ness? And Vanessa's like, no, I didn't know. Oh my gosh, is that what's his name? The one that just won the competition? Is he a platypus now? What happened?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, it was
Johannes.
He drank. Milo gave them both goblets and said one of them was poisoned, and after he drank it, he turned into a platypus.
Yeah, that's his idea of somebody being poisoned. Unfortunately, this isn't the first time this has happened.
Okay, so it definitely was him and not my antidote. Got it. I'll cork it back and put it in my bag.
You're lucky, Set. I'm pissed off right now.
I was trying to help.
I appreciate you. Where is he? I'm gonna kill him.
At that moment, you hear a rustling of robes as Milo Marigold just magically apparates next to Vanessa and Alice and goes, did somebody call for me?
Can I roll
Did somebody call for me?
I would like to roll to attack unarmed strike.
You may, absolutely. Go ahead and roll a d20.
Jump at his face.
Platypuses are venomous, so have at it.
It's like the
Try to
toe,
poison me?
but yeah, he's got the. Here, I got it. I found it. Here we go. I found what Johannes sounded like.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
I rolled an
chattering.
18, so does that include my regular to hit bonus or for an unarmed strike?
Add a +2 to that.
All right, dirty 20 then.
You fail. You go to no, I'm kidding. You Milo, wide grin on his face, just sort of flourishes to you all. Somebody asked for me. Oh God! as you just leap up into his face and begin scratching, clawing away at him.
Clawing at him,
Yes,
clawing at his hair.
The rest of you can either intervene or just kind of let this happen. Whatever you want to do.
This is.
Well, I
this
guess
is
it depends how
this
much
is
of
happening.
any of the. At what point am I hearing any type of hullabaloo happening from the back?
I mean, you're upstairs, and so roll a perception check. We'll see if you can hear this.
The 17.
You hear a thumping noise come from down below and what sounds like shouts.
Momentarily sink into the bathwater before getting out, getting ready.
Back down
A couple
below.
minutes, so yeah.
Yeah, back down below. Johannes, go ahead and roll. This is going to be a 1d4 plus 2.
1d4. That's 5.
Right, so you do 5 points of damage to Milo Marigold as you scratch at him. Just a whirlwind of fur and tail and bill. Alice steps in to try to remove you from his face. So she's going to attempt to grapple you. That is a 16. Against your, if you want to make a dex check for me, see if you can.
A dex saving
Slip out
throw
of
or just a
this.
check?
We're talking grapple condition, so that's going to be.
Succeed on a strength or a dexterity check, contested, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, contested check.
Oh, 9. I have 18 dex.
Okay, so Alice does manage to just latch onto you. She has incredibly strong hands, and she just latches onto you, rips you off of Milo Marigold, and she goes, "Okay, little one, I understand you're upset. Let's get you back over here before you hurt somebody. Most importantly, yourself." She just kind of sets you on the bar table, the countertop there. Milo looks at everyone and goes, "Was it something I said? Did I do something wrong?"
I did everything right, and then the platypus attacked me.
Milo, please tell me you have an antidote for this.
For what, my dear person?
You turned me into a damn platypus!
Your tomfoolery with Johannes there.
Oh.
I had to translate.
Keep it together. Keep it together. You're talking about the platypus. Is this... so Johannes ended up being turned into the platypus. That is hilarious.
That was going to be hard for him to cook as a platypus now, isn't it?
No, not at all. Imaginary person who's not here. You'll actually find that the platypus is incredibly dexterous despite their webbed hands. If anything, this may actually lead to becoming more of an advantage for you.
In what world does becoming a
I
platypus...
will not elaborate. I will not elaborate. That is against the rules that we have established for this game.
I'm gonna grab one of the chef's knives next to me and be like, Milo, just know you're eating the food that I cook.
I would
yes,
like to know,
that was established. That's how the competition is going to work.
I would like to know.
You seem upset with me.
I look at my spice bag and get poison, borax dust.
I'd really like to note that, I feel as though, there was a moment when I think a couple of us were getting, kind of sus about him as, a real thing. I think the reality has really, truly just become that the only thing to be suspect about him on is that he is, just an egregious dumbass.
Yeah, basically.
No, the thing that we should be sus about is whether or not he's a trickster demon or something like that. Goddamn.
Well then, I can see everybody is in a bit of a fuss, but do not worry. This is exactly how things are supposed to go. So, we have our platypus. Thomas, you are still willing to compete? And Thomas just sort of looks at you, Johannes, and then looks back at Milo and is like, less and less so with every minute, but go on.
You have our
So-
platypus.
You have full reign of the kitchen. Everything in here you are free to use. You have 30 minutes. Create the best meal you have ever made and serve it to myself and to all of the lovely patrons here at the inn. Remember the rules that we established at the beginning. And Thomas real quick pipes in, yes, we're each getting paid 500 gold for our services today.
I thought it was
Yes.
600.
Oh, God. You know,
Easy to forget.
when the platypus is right, he's right. It's probably 600. And so he is going to make a deception check with advantage with help from
Yes.
you.
You can lie? Of course he's good at lying.
Is Johannes like the full size of a platypus, or is he like hybridized?
Yeah, he's like a full-sized adult platypus.
Okay, so in this scenario, he shrunk down to the size of a platypus.
Yes.
Even as a halfling, you still shrink to this platypus.
Exactly.
Platypuses
You can
are like
shrink to
this big,
something,
aren't they?
Johannes.
Yeah.
they are way bigger than that, my guy.
they are much larger than the hand gesture that you just
I'm
made.
probably just thinking of the baby platypus.
They're like this
the
big,
outside
right?
thing.
Yeah, granted, you
No, bro,
probably
we're talking like a
total
loaf of
height-wise,
bread.
Yeah, total height wise, you may not have shrunk down as much as you think, but
They're about 2 feet long and about 6 pounds.
That's not that big. It's like this.
yeah, that's only a bit shorter than Johannes.
Yeah. It's just
Hey,
slightly-
wait a minute.
Milo looks at all of you and says, "Oh my God, you're so right. How could I have forgotten? Yes, you're each going to be paid 600 gold for your services. That was one of the rules. How could I possibly forget the rules?
Damn right.
They're so important." Yes. Are you ready to begin?
Let's get out of here. Let us work. Let us cook.
I shall leave the artists to their canvases. I will put 30 minutes on the clock. Everyone else, please take your seats. We will begin serving drinks. We do not have appetizers. Please understand. Everyone begins to just kind of, find their tables again. A lot of discussion between the different people. Some of them are clearly very excited for what this meal is going to end up being. Alice turns to the rest of you and goes, "Best I can say is good luck. Try not to hurt yourselves. If you need a strainer, it's up on the top of that cupboard right there."
I'm gonna look
Can't wait
up
to
and
see
I
the
look at my
platypus
hands and
try
I
to,
just say,
like,
of
climb
course
up.
it is.
Just like just knocking shit over, trying to climb the counter. Sorry, bro
Vanessa
needs the handicap.
Vanessa just kind of squeaks out a good luck. Hope you both do great. You're gonna do great. I need to sit down. And she just kind of walks away.
And on that note, I still need to wash up, and Set will just walk away.
Sure. With that, Milo snaps his fingers and an enormous hourglass just sort of materializes on his person, and he holds it in his hand. And he holds it up and he goes, "All right, when I turn over this hourglass, you will have 30 minutes to complete your task. You can use any ingredients in the kitchen, but make us the greatest meal of your life. Are you ready?"
just like stare him like right into his soul.
You see his eyes kind of like cross outward a little bit before coming back into focus.
So, going into your theory set, he is what he likely would be is some type of like fey creature, but a really stupid one.
I like that idea.
All right. We can now begin. Let us start the competition. And he turns the hourglass over, and as he does, it slips from his hands, and he goes, "Oh no!" And the hourglass smashes on the ground, breaking. You see just like million grains of sand just spill out all across the floor. And he goes, "Oh no, no, the hourglass! Oh my goodness! Oh no!" And he kind of gets down on his knees. And he's trying to like scoop up the sand. He's like, "Oh, how could this happen? Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Oh, what are we going to do?" And he's like trying to scoop up the sand.
So you cut your hand. Careful.
And Alice turns to you, Johannes, and goes, "Now, while he's distracted, go, 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 go.
Go where?
Go what?
Start. I don't know what else he's gonna do when he gets the hourglass fixed. Just go."
Okay.
And you feel Thomas behind you. Just takes off, runs over to the corner, grabs a cutting board, immediately takes his 2 pounds of fish that he got, slaps it on the cutting board, looks for a knife. He's immediately getting into it. You see some of the people in the inn start cheering, like, "Yeah, yeah." As everyone starts.
I waddle over to my station. What can I do?
Okay.
Imagine watching beat Bobby Flay, and going against Bobby Flay is a platypus.
It's a platypus.
You have before you an enormous wooden cutting board. You can use the full extent of your imagination here.
As a platypus.
I want you to select from your mind palace.
From my mind palace.
6 ingredients.
Oh my god.
That you want to use with your fish to create the ultimate meal.
Okay. It's a bass.
So you do have the benefit of that spice pouch, remember?
I want.
Contractually obligated to use it.
I want. Garlic.
Okay.
I want lemons.
Okay.
I want ghee.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
Oh, I don't have
I want capers.
Nice. Some good capers.
How many was that? Was that 4?
That's 4. Right.
Okay. Do spices count?
They can.
I was just gonna, because I didn't know if I had to include salt and pepper. Because if so, those are my last 2. If not,
I'll say it's pretty hard to mess up salt and pepper.
Okay.
So we'll keep them out of this. I'll let you just kind of use. That's a very like basic fundamental thing that you and Thomas are gonna have like figured out.
Then I want cauliflower. And what would go good with that? Parmesan cheese.
Hell yeah.
Parmesan cheese.
That's 6.
Yep. So we have garlic, lemons, ghee, capers, cauliflower, and Parmesan cheese. Those are your 6 ingredients that you're using along with your fish.
6. Those are my 6.
All right. Thomas is chopping away at his fish right now. So Here's how this is going to work. You are entering a skill challenge.
Oh, yes, another one of these.
For each of the ingredients that you have chosen, including your fish, you are going to be partaking in a skill challenge. You will need to creatively use one of your skills in the preparation of each ingredient, and you will then roll to see if you can successfully prepare that ingredient.
Okay. One for each ingredient, eh?
One for each ingredient.
Okay.
No dupes.
No dupes.
All right. I'm gonna start off to prep the. Do I have to go in like ingredient one by one?
One by one, but you decide what order you want to do these in.
All right. You know what? To start off, I'm gonna start off by roasting the garlic. So I'm gonna use perception for that, so I can tell.
Very good. We need to keep an eye on the heat. Make sure that it doesn't stay on too long. Yep.
Right.
Go ahead and make that perception check.
Oh no, that's a 12.
12. Okay.
Full rolls today, except for that 118.
All right. You are watching over the garlic as much as you can with your beady little platypus eyes. Your vision is a little bit poorer than it was previously. You're trying to kind of focus on, pay attention to it. You eventually, you think for a moment, you've almost got it. Now would be the time to pull them off. But do I wait just a few seconds longer? Put a little bit of that kick. Do I wait?
No, I pull it off.
You pull it off. Perfectly browned.
Yes.
Excellent consistency to them. You have successfully roasted the garlic.
Okay.
All right. What is the ingredient that you want to tackle next?
Next, I am going to start prepping the fish, which means I need some of the prep ingredients. So I'm going to use stealth to get the lemon juice. Just slide it in there. So you barely even notice the hint of citrus. It's hidden in there, but you know that's something special about it.
With the delicate care and precision of Set trying to force Thomas to imbibe an antidote earlier, you attempt to very deftly and precisely squeeze the lemon juice out of the fish. You've done this 100 times before. If you let your fingers shake too much,
my platypus webbed.
You'll miss it and be just off, and it'll be like the lemon juice isn't even there.
All right. I'm gonna roll that stealth check. 27.
Nice. You, with perfect precision, bloop, 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 managed to drop the lemon juice exactly where it needs to go. And you know this fish is going to have a great lemony kick to it.
All right. Good.
All right. What do you want to prepare next?
We need to melt the ghee to cook the fish in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use. Oh man. Can it be any skill?
Any skill that you haven't already used.
All right. We're gonna use persuasion, and I'm gonna just like use my previous chef's abilities to really enforce the idea to that ghee to melt properly. I'm really gonna ask a lot of it.
Mm-hmm. The other patrons at the inn, watch in awe as you do this. They are simply stunned at what they are seeing as this platypus is seemingly pulling out all the stops to create this meal. Go ahead and roll persuasion.
All right. That's a 20.
20. You are not only persuading the Ghee to cooperate with you, in a way you're persuading the audience that you are in many ways a savant, a true artiste of the medium. Anyone can carve a man out of a statue, but it takes someone very special to see the man within and allow it to stay there untouched. Your work appears effortless, as if you're doing almost nothing at all. But the aromas and smells of the cooked fish and the ghee are now beginning to ruminate from the kitchen and waft out among the tables. And the patrons are getting excited and antsy.
All right. Now for the most important step. I'm going to put that fish in that pan and I'm going to cook it. I'm going to cook it perfectly. I'm going to use acrobatics.
Yes. You're going to make an acrobatics check you have to lift the fish, which is now almost the size of you, if not a little bit bigger, and somehow deftly get it into this pan. You hear Milo call out from somewhere, 15 minutes have passed, my friends. You have 15 minutes left.
All right. That's a 29 for the acrobatics.
Holy
This guy.
This platypus is doing backflips on backflips.
Unstoppable. He is truly unstoppable. You manage to perfectly flip the fish into the pan. There's a great from the crowd. Visible excitement on everyone's faces. A couple smatterings of polite applause. Thomas is working fiendishly over in the other corner. He has his fish prepared. He's taking some sauces from the nearby cupboard and is sort of dashing them. He takes some basil leaves and is laying them out. Clearly going for sort of an impressionistic plate, wanting to really, really present the fish well. And you successfully prepare the fish. What is the next ingredient that you want to add?
Okay, while the fish is cooking, I'm going to start on the cauliflower. I'm going to just try to... what am I going to do? I'm going to try to roast them, but I'm going to try to, get them nice and crispy. I want the crunch, but I don't think I can fry them. I don't have the breading. So we're gonna get them crispy. Oh boy. Then in order to do this, I must both handle the beastly cauliflower and the beast within. So I'm gonna use animal handling.
Yeah. Okay. It's
more like the beast without.
As you channel your newfound animalistic nature, you set about preparing what would be the equivalent of vegan chicken wings, but without the breading. A perfect meal for lovers of animals everywhere. Go ahead and roll that animal handling check for me to see if you can successfully roast these cauliflower.
16?
16. That is... You cook them, and as you finish with them, you go to taste test one. You pop it into your mouth, and you have a little difficulty because now you have a duck bill, and you're trying to chew the cauliflower, and it's proving difficult. But eventually you get it kind of settled in your mouth and you get that satisfying crunch. And you know You've got this.
Oh man.
You've got this in the bag.
All right. 2 more. I'm gonna plate the cauliflower. This is time sensitive, but plating the cauliflower, the fish is just finishing up, but it's not ready yet. In an act of pure desperation and survival, I'm going to try to grate some Parmesan cheese onto the cauliflower to finish this side. Roll a survival check.
Okay, go ahead and do it.
That's an 11.
You go to you're kind of wrestling with this giant cheese grater, this like
I have to like stand
large
up.
brass cheese grater, and you're like, you're trying to like wrestle with that and hold the cheese and try to do it both at the same time. And Milo Marigold suddenly pops out from beneath the countertop and goes, "Oh, quick, you there, little one."
What?
And he opens his robe and he pulls out from within his robe a very small cheese grater, like the size of like a thick pencil eraser, and like hands it to you and goes, "Use this.
Just like grab it.
But don't tell anyone I gave you that." And like 3 feet away from you, Thomas turns around and goes, "I can hear everything you're saying."
Is this poison too?
Why don't you eat it and find out?
Oh, you'll be eating something.
I hope so.
I'm gonna start grating with the little cheese grater.
I'm finding it more difficult to flirt with you now that you're an animal. I'll be honest. It's not really the thing.
Well, then maybe you should have thought about that before you turn me.
I should.
I start like screaming like Donald Duck.
You're entirely right. You've given me so much to think about just in these past hours.
All right, I'm grating.
Continue on with the competition. And he just kind of steps away. Just like not entirely sure how to end that conversation. He's just like, "Yep, I'm going this way."
I am working still. All right, I'm grading. How'd it turn out?
So you have unfortunately failed on the Parmesan cheese.
No.
You go to
No, not the Parmesan cheese.
With your new cheese grater in hand. With your new cheese grater in hand, you turn around to find that you have accidentally knocked over the wheel of Parmesan, and it is now sitting on the ground collecting dust.
How's that gonna roll? Be quick.
Utterly useless.
All right.
In your pursuit of the perfect meal.
That was the worst part. Most useless part of the.
Also, you're pretty sure there's like bits of glass in it from when Milo broke the hourglass, so it's probably better to just not use it.
Good. I'm glad. It was a whole Parmesan cheese wheel. It probably cost like 800 gold pieces per something. Mm-hmm. I'm glad it's on the floor and filled with glass. Okay. Then this is it.
How expensive do you think this cheese was?
I don't know. I don't know how much it is. I don't know what the GP to dollar ratio is, but a full wheel of Parmesan cheese is expensive as hell.
While I can agree with you, it would probably be more like the 2 gold.
To inform our players, and the audience,
USD to
everyone. To inform our players and the audience, the cost of an entire wheel of Parmesan cheese can range from $960 to $1,600.
I know. That's why I said like 800 gold pieces. I don't know how much
$10 gold. Dude,
okay.
No, what you're forgetting is like one gold is like handing somebody fucking $100.
It's not. Man. That is not the one for one in this particular case.
Oh yeah,
a gold Galifar in Eberron is not equal to like $100 US. That is not quite how it works.
That would be funny though.
I mean, gold
anyways,
is a lot more value than you think it does. We're just used to it because we're adventurers and we buy expensive shit.
Anyways, I am now the fish. It's perfectly cooked. I'm taking it off. I'm plating it right next to the cauliflower that still tastes great.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for the coup de grace. This is what it's all been waiting for, the final plate of presentation. I'm going to use sleight of hand to plate those capers right on top of the bass.
Yeah, baby.
You know what that means? Fish!
Fish.
All right, go ahead and roll that sleight of hand check for me.
Please, God.
It was just the way he said fish earlier that really.
21!
You're stupid.
You stupid. All right, with a 21, Johannes, with capers in your webbed hands, how do you finish the fight?
I just take it and it's in my hand. I'm gonna like whoosh, like scatter it like tears amongst the rain, and a spiral pattern is gonna just like drift around the bass as the capers like flow like raindrops.
Hell yeah. Food Wars, that shit.
Yeah.
You,
We're good. I
with
can't wait for everyone in the restaurant to have a food orgasm.
perfect precision, you toss the capers and they land exactly where you want them to, so eloquently. Thomas looks up from his recently finished plate and you see a single solitary tear stream down his cheek as he watches you throw the capers and just says to himself, "So beautiful. I've never seen anything like it." You see several of the people in the inn just begin to just start weeping, just crying at the sheer beauty of it all. Alice watches on you, a hardened look on her face as she just kind of gives you like a...
I give a knowing nod back.
You see Milo cradling the shattered remains of the hourglass.
Of all the glass.
Very visible, like, blood and, like, cuts on his forearm.
That's so good.
Just, like, not paying any mind to it. Rips in his robes in the sleeves,
like,
where he has just been, like, trying to scoop up all this broken glass.
Going pale, like...
He holds it, cradling it as if it is a newborn, and he looks to both of you and he says, "My God, I didn't know food could be prepared this way."
Imagine if I wasn't a damn platypus.
Ask yourself, young Johannes, would it really be better? Or does you being a platypus part of what makes this so phenomenal?
Oh my God. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Remember, Seth did inform you about the platypus's poison foot. You have the poison toe.
So, I'm glad you brought that up.
Oh, yeah.
Johannes, you have successfully prepared your dish. But an important thing about the platypus is that they secrete a toxin that is very dangerous. And you don't know how much control you have over that. So here's what we're going to do. You have to select one of the remaining skills that you haven't used yet.
Oh.
And you're going to use its modifier when you roll a d20 to determine if you have accidentally left toxin inside of any of your food.
Oh man, this would have been such a good time for deception. Let me think. Use that. Yeah.
Well, do remember that it's mainly from the the toe thing.
Roll still
Scientists, in
stands.
fact, don't know what the ooze that glows under UV light that platypuses are surrounded by does.
Put your scientists away. This is a fantasy world. And you're
But I
going to roll
love-
a dice to determine if the platypus
what?
left
It's,
toxin
I
in the
love
food.
the fact that in 2024, after all this time, we still don't know what it is that platypus
And we never will.
slime
And we'll
is.
never know.
You know
But,
what?
like,
I'm gonna.
I mean,
We're not meant to know, okay?
Here's
We're not
here's
meant
the
to
thing
know.
though. If we're really gonna dive down into it, it is a venom. So if someone were to ingest it, there would be no repercussions from it because it needs to be injected directly into the bloodstream.
Oh, interesting.
By food?
That's not how eating food works.
And we all know magic venom works the same way that regular venom does.
Hey, you said platypus, not magic platypus.
What part of this
Anyways, I'm
Hey,
using
is
polymorph-
not a magical platypus?
I'm using medicine.
Polymorph makes
I
you
don't
into
like
the
how
end.
much y'all are like trying to force correct my game.
I'm using medicine and I'm trying to not poison them.
Y'all forgot
Or-
something. I'm God here, and I decide if the platypus is magic or not.
18.
I'll say if the platypus oozes the venom.
Some
or
of you
not.
have gotten a little too laid back, and I think we need to like twist the screws a little. What did you roll, Johannes?
I rolled a 16.
A 16.
Plus 2, though, so 18.
18. Okay. Johannes, you hear
Yes.
the ringing of a bell. You and Thomas both put your hands up to signify that you're finished with your meals. You look super cute doing it just because you got like little platypus arms. Alice approaches the two of you, takes your plates, brings them over to the largest table in the inn, this large circular table where Milo, Alice, and Vanessa are seated, along with a few of the other patrons around them. Everyone else kind of gathers around in a big crowd to watch as your meals are presented to the two of them. Milo looks out to the two of you and says, "Gentlemen, it all comes down to this. You have worked hard. Now, I shall partake in the meals that you have provided, and we shall decide once and for all who will be the head chef at my inn. Whatever happens, I want both of you to know something. I had a second hourglass the entire time. The first hourglass was fake. It was purely for show. But I'm still very broken up over the fact that it was smashed."
I don't even respond. I just like stare off in the ceiling, thinking when this is.
Boo!
I'm actually gonna lay flat on my back, like on the countertop, like look at the ceiling.
Okay. Let us begin. And he takes a fork and a knife, and he cuts into your fish, holds it up into the air, examines it. Everyone in the crowd goes, "Ooh, look at that, look at that." Ooh. Everyone watching, you could hear a pin drop. Milo takes the fish, I say. And he goes for Thomas's fish. Now, Thomas, you see, learns from the best. You see a fish fillet elegantly laid out with scallops surrounding it, fresh scallops. And the fillet itself is Parmesan encrusted.
Oh, he stole my idea. Typical Thomas.
With basil leaf as garnish and a cherry roe on the side. Milo takes a bite of his fish. Mm-hmm. Boom. His head just falls forward and slams into the table.
I like sit up. Thomas, did you poison him?
The crowd goes, gasp rings through. Milo, motionless at the table.
Did you poison him?
No, it's the fish. It's the same fish that you had.
Was the fish poison? Like, that was kind of like a eldritch being. We didn't exactly check to see that it...
We didn't. You're absolutely right. We didn't really check. I mean, I washed mine off at least. I don't know if you used the sink.
Well, yeah.
Usually you want to like wash the meat off beforehand.
I washed my hands like a couple times too.
That's good. Yeah, you were on the floor at one point, so it was probably a good idea to like wash your hands. They might have been
like
dirty.
Glass in my hands too. But...
Yeah, that's probably fine. Suddenly Milo's head like rockets back up.
Is he okay?
Hold on. It's all right, everyone. What you didn't know, and that I knew the entire time, is that I am deathly allergic to fish.
Oh. Are you gonna die then, or like?
He just ignores you completely. You see, the greatest trick I pulled wasn't on the two of you. It was on myself.
What?
For years, I have lived here in Passage, on the shores of Lake Galifar, home to many, many species of delectable fish, and have never been able to enjoy them without the use of magic, or else I would fall victim to my deathly illness. So there came a time when I asked myself, is there a fish so delicious, so delectable, that it might even be worth dying for? To forego my magic entirely and just eat it as it is and face the consequences, for it was that good. Gentlemen, I can tell you with great sincerity, as blood pools in my lungs, that one of these dishes I just had is worth dying for. You could hear the whispers among the crowd. Oh my goodness, what is it? Oh, what could it be? What is what is he talking about? I don't care. How is he just like talking right now? I don't get it. It's 5 stuff. Gentlemen, the fish worth dying for was made by my new head chef, Possibly the finest chef in all of the city of Passage. Please, a round of applause for Johannes the Platypus. And he leads this like eruption of applause that goes all throughout the inn as everybody stands and cheers and celebrates.
Yay. Yay.
People come over and they kind of like pat you on the back and like ruffle your head a little bit. You see people are like clamoring for more of the food. They want to try it out. The plate gets kind of passed around and people take a little bit each. Milo looks to you and he says, I'm sure you have a few more questions still. I'll try to answer them the best that I can. First of all, and he procures a small, clear bottle and hands it over to you. If you drink this, you will no longer be a platypus.
Am I going to be turned into something else even worse, or?
I'm afraid so. You'll be normal again. The worst thing you could possibly be.
Damn. That's kind of rude, don't you think?
Yeah, that is kind of rude.
And I'll
I have nothing. I'm sorry.
I'm going to drink it.
You drink it, and it is like just a straight up like the front cover of an Animorphs book. Like you just like, but it's like off at like a 30-degree angle. You just kind of like morph back into your former self. Miraculously, you have clothes on again.
I was about to ask.
Everyone cheers and celebrates. Yeah, yeah. 3 cheers for the winner. 3 cheers. Hip hip hooray. Milo says, yes, well, a deal is a deal. You are officially the head chef. You get to decide the menu. Let's be honest. Considering how the last 24 hours have gone, that's probably for the best, isn't it?
I think so.
Yes. The kitchen is now your kitchen, my friend. You are free to arrange it as you will. Just know that I do own the inn. So if you do anything that results in the inn potentially being closed down, I'm going to blame you for it.
I'm sure that nothing else will happen at this inn that could cause a health code violation.
Absolutely not. And you see the pseudo dragon from before that's kind of fluttering around. It just like sneezes onto somebody's plate and then just like flies off. So, with you as head chef, we must abide by the rules of chefery. Thomas, and he says, yes, Mr. Marigold, you are welcome to stay on as the second in command to Johannes here. I'm sure he would be able to teach you many things about being a great chef.
You have a lot to learn.
Thomas kind of looks to you. Silva, at what point would you have liked to have come downstairs during this?
Silva.
Possibly none, if they're not there.
Possibly.
And I know, Seth, you went ahead and went upstairs.
Yeah, I went upstairs, but the cooking part took like 30 minutes, right? So I would have come back down about probably halfway through.
Okay, yeah. Yep, so you were there for the plating and the presentation and eating and everything, yep.
That's why I was able to boo Milo when he made his terrible, terrible jokes.
Mm-hmm. Milo looks to you, Johannes, and you, Set. We are going to have no choice but to celebrate this occasion, and there will be much merriment and rabble-rousing, and possibly networking, which is great for future job opportunities. But at some point tonight, I would like to speak with you and your full group. The fairy lady, the young lass, and the young one with the eye patch as well. I'd like to speak with all of you.
You might be muted.
Me?
No, Marshall.
Oh.
No, I didn't say anything.
I thought I saw you talking.
The thing
no, the avatar just be yapping.
Yapping.
Tracking points be tracking points.
Mm-hmm. They sure do. I suppose.
Thomas is going to look to you, Silva. And just straight up is like, what do you think we should do?
Came down the stairs. Man was on the floor trying to pick up an hourglass. A platypus was at a kitchen table. You were there cooking. They're at least normal. I don't know what the hell he would want from us. I mean, I don't know. Great question. I'll be honest, I didn't necessarily think all that much farther after arriving here what we were going to be going into. So,
well, he did say that he wanted to meet with all of you later. Maybe he has some kind of a proposal or something for you?
I suppose we should meet with him then.
Who is this?
Yeah, probably best to make our decision after we hear whatever inanity comes out of his mouth later.
All right, well, I shall start cleaning up the kitchen. I'm sure the head chef would want to see it spick and span for the next meal to be prepared tomorrow morning, right? Alice leans over to Johannes. I think he's talking to you.
Sorry, I stop listening to you every time you talk. Say that again.
Bro.
I'm gonna go clean up the kitchen.
You do that.
Yeah. Alice goes, I will help. I'll show you where the broom and everything is. The two of them just kind of walk off behind the counter. You are all the inn sort of launches into this festivities, general everybody hanging out, ordering food, drinks all around, telling stories of the day. At some point you see what appear to be journalists for the local paper that are kind of jumping in between people getting interviews, so that they can publish this news. You see that occasionally people will just like straight up offer to buy drinks for you. They're just in awe to be around you, and are sort of celebrating with you and are very happy. As a couple hours or so pass and it begins to get sort of later into the evening, you spot out of the corner of your eye Milo sitting at a far table by himself, hands crossed, and he sort of
I'm debating pretending if I don't notice. I just like I keep looking around, just like oh. I like look past him and like tilt my head. Like what?
Is he gesturing to all of us or just Johannes?
he's mostly gesturing to Johannes, but it is kind of aimed at like all of you in general.
I'll nudge Johannes and like let's just get this over with.
All right. I go over and take a seat.
Good. You're here.
Sorry, I
where's
didn't see you there.
Oh, it's all right. I am very difficult to spot when I want to be.
Yeah.
Where is your? Let's see. We got Johannes here. We got you. The tall brooding one. We've got the fey creature. Where's your other friend? The one with the eye patch. Where is he?
Where is he?
Yeah, where is Dak? I haven't seen him. Like I know he's usually just sitting in a corner, but
Did we lose Dak?
kind of do a quick look around, like
Yeah, I'd like to make a perception check, see if I see him anyway.
Yeah, y'all can make perception checks, see if you can locate him.
21.
perception is 16.
The two of you look around. You think, Johannes, for a second that you may have spotted him. You can see the back of his head, but then the person turns, and it's actually just one of the young boys that was out by the lake there earlier. There is no... I mean, there's a ton of people in the inn right now. It's jam-packed, but like you don't see of all of them as you're kind of looking, trying to identify the faces, looking for any discernible features. But there's no sign of Dak that you can see.
Where did he go? Can we try to make like a mental connection? Does anyone still have a mental connection with him still open? I'm gonna try. I'm just like
I mean, each of us can try.
Dak, are you there?
Set will do like a quick, like, be like, I'll be right back, and then like kind of do a quick
loop around
the entirety of the inn. Peek his head outside, look around outside real quick, and then come back if he hasn't seen anything.
You see no hide or hair of him.
I wasn't able to find him.
Is he usually the type to wander off?
I'll attempt my.
Well, now that you say that, no, he doesn't really usually wander off. Usually just sits down in one spot, doesn't move from there. He doesn't have anything other pressing to do.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned.
It's really weird.
Well, hopefully he's just on a quick bathroom break. But we shall address that in a moment. I do want to get to the important business at hand. We shall fill in the young lad later. The thing I want you all to understand is that I know that you have been through a great ordeal today. First and foremost, and he reaches down and he pulls out a large sack. And it makes like a jingling sound as he holds it. And he hands it out to you, Johannes. Your gold.
Oh, thank you.
600 gold as you were promised.
Yeah, I open it up and check.
You see a very sizable amount of gold coins. Gold Galifars shining brightly in the candlelight.
Okay. I pocket it. Is it actually 600?
You can add 600 gold Galifars to your inventory, my guy.
Oh.
You should probably find a place to store that so it doesn't get stolen or anything.
Yeah, I think I should. For now, I'm just gonna pocket it till I can find, like, a bank or mattress.
So, for the rest of you, I understand that Mr. Windleaf was under the impression that I would have work for him as well as for Miss Silver here. And I want you to understand that he had that impression because that is explicitly what I promised him.
Yes.
However, I didn't want to worry the lad, so I didn't tell him the specifics about which job position I would like you to fulfill.
Okay.
I raise a single eyebrow.
Yeah.
Our city is filled with not like that. Not like that. Please. What do you take me for? Our city is beautiful in many ways, but it can also be dangerous. There have been many reports of various strange happenings around the outskirts of the city. Monster sightings, kidnappings, possible occult behavior, all sorts of things. And quite frankly, we don't have enough of the adventuring sort around here now to really do anything about it. I
Go on.
cherish this inn more than I do my own life, as I have demonstrated here today. And it would mean the world to me if all of you were to live here at the inn and help the people of this city with the many problems and strange occurrences that have happened. I would allow you to stay here free of charge for as long as you need. And in return, I only ask that you aid the citizens of the city in whatever matters have been happening. And as you do so, if you wish to encourage them to become a proprietor of my inn, that would, of course, be very beneficial for all parties involved. Think of it like a sponsorship opportunity. And also, if they pay you any gold for your services, you get to keep all of it.
I'm listening.
Good, because I started talking multiple minutes ago, so I hope you didn't start listening now.
The figure of speech.
All right.
What kind of things would we be? Should we just be helping people in need?
We have had, for many years, in the town square, there is an enormous job board where anytime somebody needed assistance with something or needed an adventurer or a dungeon dweller or a monster hunter or anything of that sort, they have posted about it on the job board and sought out aid there. But as I say, things have gotten a little more stringent following the events of the war. Resources are tight, my friends. And frankly, there aren't as many people around that are willing to give aid as they once did. I worry about our city falling prey to all sorts of outside forces that we cannot control. And the more these strange and terrible things are allowed to happen, the more distrust is sown amongst the people. I cannot continue to provide an inn for people if there are no people to provide it to. And the people need help. And I believe that all of you, in your own special ways, are suited for the task of helping them. If you'd like, I strongly recommend that you visit I strongly recommend that you visit the town square in the morning. You can also procure yourself a internal map of the city as well from the nearby stone. And you should visit the job board yourself. See the types of opportunities that are currently available. If it is not particularly to your fancy and you would rather just continue on, you are free to do so. But I'm obviously going to keep my new head chef here. I hate to be the one to break up the band in this situation, so why not keep the band together?
I mean,
for a little while at least.
What do you all think? I mean, I know I came here for work, but
I mean,
I also came here for work.
And honestly, I think sticking around in this city would probably be for the best for me for a little while at least.
One of the small boys approaches all of you. He's got this sort of knitted cap that is off, and he's holding it in his hands as he walks up. Excuse me, Mr. Marigold, sir. You mind if I say something? And Milo turns and looks down. Of course, my child. What is it you would like to say? And the child says, I have something to say, sir. You, while the competition was happening, I saw your little friend of yours, the one that's about a little bit taller than me, he is, and he left with a lady. It was a taller woman, and she had like pinkish violet skin. And her hair was tied back in like a ponytail or something. And she was escorting him out of the inn, out through this back door here. And then they didn't ever come back, what I saw.
This guy, eye patch?
Yeah, one of his eyes was covered, and he looked really anxious.
I think that's Dak.
So that would be why Dak isn't here.
I heard you saying that you were looking for your friends, so I thought I would tell you what I saw.
Yes, much appreciated. You know what? Here you go, and I'll just give him a gold Galifar and be like, appreciate it. Spend
Thank
that
you,
here.
Sir.
Look at Milo and kind of give him a wink.
That's right kind of you, it is. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to bring this back to my family. And he sort of, a wide grin on his face, he just sort of jumps excitedly, puts bites the gold Galifar, puts it in his pocket, puts on the felt hat, and sort of takes off running through the inn. You see Milo with a smile on his face, just sort of gently nods and looks to you. I've never seen that child in my life.
Did the lady that he apparently saw Dak walking off with sound familiar at all?
He described a woman tall, pink or more violet skin, hair tied back. I am not familiar with such a description, I'm afraid. You don't suppose something ill has happened, do you?
No. Descriptor definitely feels very fey.
Hmm.
Do they sound familiar to us at all? Do we know anyone that would be reminiscent of that.
Make a history check for me.
19.
19. Someone of this description, I mean, Faye is an interesting possibility. Something about it definitely feels out of this world. But you can't quite place your finger on it.
Well, I guess there's really not much. We'll just have to keep an eye out for Dak while we're possibly helping out around here, I guess.
At that, Milo places his hands on the table, pushes himself up. Attention, everyone. Everyone, please, your attention. Someone near and dear to us has disappeared. We have a possible missing person. I want all of you to continue going about your business exactly as you were before. But we are going to go on a missing persons investigation, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. So I just want all of you to know that you're missing out. Please go back to your revelry. And everyone's just kind of like, okay, all right. They just kind of go back to what they're doing. This is obviously deeply concerning. Here's what I think. We'll want to investigate the exit, look for any signs or evidence that your friend was possibly taken against their will, or if they left willingly. Maybe we should ask around, see if anybody else was witness to them or saw this person earlier in the day. Also, it wouldn't hurt for us to pay a visit to the library.
Okay.
In general,
Library.
the library is a great place to go to when you need information on something.
Milo, you're making it sound as though you're going to be coming with us.
Did I do that? I apologize. I'm definitely not. I have an intern.
I just wanted to clarify because I needed to mentally prepare myself if that was going to be the case.
Oh, I understand. I can be a handful. I know this. I understand. No, I will not be accompanying you. You shall be bereft of my presence.
Darn.
If you visit the library, just a couple blocks away would be the apothecary. It might be worth stopping by there as well. Something tells me you're probably going to want to replenish those antidotes that you used.
I wonder why.
I'll take my remaining one. I'll go, or just figure out if it's actually an antidote or not. And just put it back in.
Yes, they might be able to assist you with that as well. I'm sure they'd be very good at identifying it.
Yeah, well, sounds like we'll, enjoy the revelry for the evening. Maybe ask around a little bit while everyone's enjoying themselves. Probably a little bit easier to get some information, but otherwise we'll start up in the morning.
Very well. I hope your friend is all right, truly.
Thank you. As do we.
He stands up, and as he does, you just see like a ton of like hourglass sand like pour out of his like pockets and his sleeves.
Still.
I was the second hourglass the whole time. And he just walks away from all of you.
Good.
And that is where we are going to end tonight's session.
What the fuck is this guy?
He is.
I love
All right,
it.
so
Johannes, you are now officially the head chef of this inn.
I guess so.
You went from jobless to head chef. That's a pretty significant upgrade. But it appears that there is still more work to be done now that your friend has seemingly gone missing.
In real life, You got a job, and now you're being asked to do extra work.
Yeah.
Let's go.
No.
Next time we meet, we shall see if the group can hopefully uncover a little bit more about the sudden disappearance of Dak and where this information could possibly lead. But until then, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for playing. And remember, salt and pepper is the free bonus action of the culinary world. It's the most basic thing you can do to add any level of flavor. It offended me on a personal level when you brought it up earlier as like an ingredient.
Well, I didn't know how specific.
Like, don't ever come into my kitchen and try to pull that with me. Ever. But I love you all anyway. We'll see you guys next time.
Salt and pepper free action.